Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's Your Show, a place where real stories, real people, and real impact take center stage. Welcome to this series of Limelight, where we put spotlight on pageant queens whose journey is beyond the crown and title. Last episode, we celebrated Glow, Grit, and Grace with Mahana Syed's journey, while today we have perfectly poised the Sheena Osman story. So, like I said, now we have on our studio today Sheena Osman, who has had a dynamic journey through pageantry, performing arts, journalism, and mentorship. Today's episode aims at inspiring young women to embrace themselves, their confidence, and look at pageantry not just as a platform but a path to purpose and confidence. So, welcome to the studio, Sheena. Thank you so much for accepting our invite and coming to the studio.
Oh, no, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Yes, and a little bit that I know of you, you have a very dynamic journey, ranging from pageantry, journalism, performing arts, and now you are a pageant director of your own pageant. So we will get into that slowly, probably, layer by layer. Before that, if you could let our viewers know who's Sheena Osman.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Sheena. I'm the director of Perfectly Poised Pageants. It's a new pageant system that I only started this year as of February, March, I would say. And I'm happy that it's been pretty successful in a short amount of time. So I'm also a TV and film actress as well. So I'm a working actress too.
Okay, that's great to know. So each role that you explain are very different from each other, though I'm sure in somewhere it's connected in terms of being there in front of the media, being there in front of people, putting yourself out there. So that is something common in all your roles, but still it is very distinct. So of all the roles that you played, what is one, if Sheena has to pick any day, is your favorite?
I would have to say what I'm doing, what I'm spending most of my time doing these days, which is directing Perfectly Poised Pageants. There's just something really rewarding with giving opportunities to others and seeing other people's talent shine. So for me, although I love acting and I love being on TV, it's creating opportunities for others that really drives me to do what I want to do.
I've heard that from a lot of actor friends of mine, like once an actor, always an actor,
right?
Yes. So like Sheena just said, she is the director of Perfectly Poised Pageant, which held their first pageant finale on last Saturday, which was 7th
May 31st.
May 30th.
Yep,
May,
not too
May,
long
May,
ago.
May 31st, and it was not too long ago. And it was held in Ottawa. We will talk more about her pageant and what were the criterias and how the whole journey was. But before that, Sheena, how did you start with pageantry? What drew you to? Were you a person like who had a dream as a little girl, or it just happened over time?
It's a good question because as a child, I was always very shy, even throughout all the way up until high school. I was a very shy, timid person, but I always found the need to somehow express myself creatively. So I started studying drama when I was in high school, and then I kind of fell in love with being on stage. And then I went to university for journalism, and after graduating, I did get some work as a broadcast journalist, as well as being as a TV reporter and host, as well as a host on some radio stations as well.
Interesting.
But I was also looking for something else that I can do on the stage. And somehow I came across a local pageant casting. This is when I just graduated from university. And I thought I would give it a shot. And ever since then, I think this was back in 2008, I would say. Ever since then, I continued competing in pageants. I won several titles, both locally, nationally, and internationally. I actually still compete to this day. It's just something that once you do pageants is really hard to get out of. So I'm lucky that I kind of have experience on both sides as a pageant contestant. I was also a judge as well, and I've choreographed pageants too. So it's nice to be on the other side directing. So that's my pageant journey.
So hearing from Sheena, it's quite evident that pageant journey is not just about looking good and putting yourself on the stage, like we repeatedly try to focus on this segment of the program. So it is also a lot about discovering and rediscovering yourself, looking into finding your authentic self, and also supporting your dreams, and also being able to support others' dream as you go ahead. So, Sheena, in your pageant journey, what do you think was one such moment that really changed who Sheena Osman was, or kind of drastic, made a very drastic impact on you? All of us have that one moment of
Yeah,
change.
that's a very good question. I would have to say winning an international title. I think this was last year in November 2024 in Tampa, Florida. I was really, it was really quite a moment for me because I was competing against girls from all across the world. So for me to win that pageant, I kind of felt like, okay, so what is the next step after this? I would like to share I wanted to share my experiences and skills that I've learned throughout my pageant experiences with others. So I think that was the turning point for me.
Absolutely.
To start something of my own. Like I've had a lot of offers from other pageant systems to help them direct pageants, but I just didn't feel the same passion working for someone else that I do with starting something of my own. It's just a different passion there.
Absolutely. So would you mind telling us what was this international title that you
Yeah,
won?
of course. So it's a U.S. Pageant system, and then they brought it internationally. So I first won a Canadian title here called...
And you went on to represent Canada.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And this was back in 2023. I won the Miss Canada Nation Universe 2023. And then in November 2024, I believe, I competed for the international title, which is Miss Nation Universe 2024.
Okay. So so now you have already passed on the crown to somebody else?
Yes, I have. So that was, it was a bittersweet moment, but but a lot of things to look forward to.
Yeah, it's a journey. I always feel like, since I personally, having just ended my reign, I feel when something ends, something else, begins.
A new door opens, right?
Absolutely,
so it's not like really an ending.
It's not the end, yeah.
It's an ending of one chapter, but an opening to another.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now, talking of perfectly poised pageant, what is it that really spoke to you, or what is it that you felt the need to start your own pageant, and what was your inspiration?
Yeah, my inspiration was I wanted a pageant that was really inclusive, and I wanted to start a pageant that didn't only cater to women or just females. I wanted a pageant that covered all age divisions for males and females. I thought getting male contestants would be a struggle, but surprisingly, there was a lot of males that showed interest in all age divisions. My youngest contestant was 22 months. And he rocked the stage and he won that title. So I just really wanted to create an opportunity for everyone to showcase their talents and not just focused on one.
Okay, so probably that's the need you saw, a pageant that is
inclusive of all ages,
and gender more so, right?
Gender and not discriminating based on marital status. Like I purposely didn't put Mrs. or Miss in the titles.
So what is your title? What are your title called?
Yes, so for the adult categories, it was perfectly poised woman. And this is 30 plus, or perfectly poised man. So that was the difference that I wanted to do. I didn't see the point on discussing people's marital status in the title, so I just wanted to get rid of that. Yeah,
absolutely. There are a lot of pageants, even internationally, that are dropping those. The latest that we know of is Miss Universe. Miss Universe no more has any. Everybody, like you and I, could go compete, at any
which
age,
is good. It's
any
about
marital
time,
status, right? So yes, I think initially when these pageants started, what I personally see is the marital status or a woman being married made a lot of difference. So it was unfair to have them compete with somebody who's not married, because traditionally married women did not have that kind of freedom, be it financial or be it time, right? So expecting them to compete with somebody who's unmarried and has all sorts of freedom was kind of unfair.
Yes.
But I think, like you said, it's about time that things change, because today's day and time, women, whether married, unmarried, at all age, are really, really breaking the glass ceiling. And I think people like Sheena are leading the way and also letting others be included in her journey.
And that was really my intention of the pageant, is I didn't want women who were, I guess, at a certain age, whether they're married or unmarried or have children or not, I don't want them to think that, okay, now that they're this certain
There's
age,
no
that life is
opportunity.
over,
Yes.
and that's it. Like
Yes.
my talents or anything, it doesn't really matter anymore. So I wanted to really give them that outlet to show what they can offer the world.
That's
right?
beautiful. I think every pageantry system in the world, I think when they start with a cause or probably a viewpoint where they see the need to change something, and then that's how it
Exactly.
starts, and it's beautiful. Interestingly, you said there were men
Yes,
contestants,
yes.
right?
Mhm.
So we see very less pageants around that
Mhm.
happen around men, right?
Mhm.
So what was the experience, or how was the response or the growth journey that you saw with men specifically? Like, you could throw a light
Yeah.
on all the contestants, but I'm more interested because I don't get to
Right.
talk to many people who have run the men pageant.
Especially for the adult category, for the males, because they're hesitant, when they hear, especially when they hear the name Perfectly Poised Pageants, like, okay, is this like for
Yeah,
females only?
Yeah.
So what I did was I actually, the adults that I got, I actually found them. So, because I used to be a vendor at a lot of events where I was kind of
Oh.
scouting. So what if I see someone
So
that
they
kind
were
of
your-
stood out?
Not wrong in saying they were your discovery.
Yeah, so I
right?
kind of, because I have that scouting, I used to do a lot of talent scouting when I used to work for talent agencies before.
Interesting.
So I always have an eye for people, and I'm like, okay, I think they have something to offer. So I actually scouted a lot of my contestants, and they were reluctant at first,
Mhm.
and then I presented the opportunity to them, and they thought it was something interesting and something different, and then they ended up coming to the pageant, and some of them won titles. So
So this is something so beautiful about pageant, not just pageantry, any kind of entrepreneurship and leadership, that we are not just putting our voice out there, we are also being the voice for somebody else who is searching for the voice. So I think, like how Sheena said, for all those contestants who were hesitant, and her little bit of push and she providing that opportunity really opened doors for them. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Sheena.
Thank
I think
you so much,
it's
Shristi.
amazing. I can't wait to see where how you grow with this, and to
Thank
watch your
you.
journey more closely. So now coming a little bit on your journey as an actor and journalist, do you think being an actor, were you an actor before you were a pageant title holder?
Yes, so I was
Right?
actually
Yeah.
been in the acting industry since I was 12.
Okay.
So I got into acting pretty young. My parents took me out of it because I was missing a lot of school for filming and auditions. And then when I got back into adulthood, I decided to get representation again with the talent agent and putting myself out there again. And luckily, I've been getting more booked as an adult than I did as a teen. So it kind of worked out
Yeah,
that
I
way.
think there's always a right time for
Right, it's
things,
just that's
right?
it, exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
At that note, let's take a break, and then we will come back and revisit Perfectly Poised, the Sheena Osman story.
अगर आपको दुबई या मिडल ईस्ट नुमा जेवरात की तलाश है तो आपको दूर जाने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं। आज ही हमारे
Mississauga Ridgeway.
स्टोर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स। हमारे पास सोने के बेहतरीन कंगन, कड़े, झुमके, हार और सोने के सेट्स भी दस्तयाब हैं। शादी हो या मेहंदी या कोई भी फंक्शन, आपकी पसंद के तमाम जेवरात आपको हमारे स्टोर में मौजूद मिलेंगे। आज ही हमारे स्टोर पर तशरीफ लाइए, अल करम ज्वेलर्स, 3465 प्लैटिनम ड्राइव, यूनिट 99, मिसिसागा, या फिर कॉल करें 905-828-0009। अल करम ज्वेलर्स, फरमाइश आपकी, गारंटी हमारी।
Welcome back to this episode of Limelight, where we have Sheena Osman in the studio with us. Her story is one that of grace and grit, and where she has not only believed in herself, but also led others to believe in themselves. Welcome back, Sheena.
Thank you.
So now coming to the pageant industry or media industry, being a person of color, how much has that impacted you, or have you been on that side of the receiving end of it?
100%. It's been a factor, unfortunately. Although we do live in such a diverse country, such as Canada, I've dealt with racism and discrimination firsthand, especially within the entertainment industry, so specifically in acting, where, let's say if I get what they call breakdowns from my talent agent for the kind of roles that they're casting for TV commercials or films, and there were just always one-sided kind of rules for South Asians, like the typical, newcomer to Canada, doesn't know English, doesn't know anything that's going on, but like
Immigrant parent.
They need to flip the script. I mean, I'm born and raised in Canada.
Yes.
That is not my experience. So why not create rules where Canadians of South Asian descent can relate to?
Absolutely.
Not every Indian brown person is a newcomer. You know what I mean? Yes. So I just got tired of...
Very stereotyped.
I actually turn down those rules all the time. So I would like to see a change within the Canadian acting industry when it comes to that sort of thing. I remember doing an audition where they were looking for belly dancers, and I come from a Middle Eastern dance training background. So I went to the audition. I did my audition, and then the casting is like, we weren't quite looking for that. I'm like, it says on your breakdown that you're looking for belly dancers. Like, no, we're looking for like the Indian. I'm like, you mean Bollywood? Like, yeah, that's what. So they didn't even do their research on the cultures.
So what do you think will change? Is it just we have to wait and watch for time?
You know what it is? I think we need to, as actors, create our own opportunities. There's a lot of scripts that I've written that I've done nothing with. So that is the next plan for me.
They need to see the sunlight, right?
They need to see what other roles we can do other than the stereotypical, Desi roles. Like
absolutely.
Yeah, right?
I think that's a problem a lot of we person of color face, and I think it's about time things change. I'm glad we're talking about it, and slowly it goes out.
Definitely.
So what do you suggest to young women out there looking at you and looking for inspiration, maybe if they feel they don't fit the typical definition of beauty standards, or they feel they're not beautiful enough? So do you have something that you want to tell them?
Yeah, as cliche as it sounds, I mean, I really think beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So although you may not think you're beautiful, you'd be surprised to see how many other people would think you're beautiful, right? And I really think there's opportunities for everybody, especially that's why I love pageants so much, because you don't have to be this, this skinny, like 6 foot supermodel type. I think the main focus of pageants is how well can you advocate on certain causes? How well can you be a spokesperson for different charities? How well you can present yourself on stage? Those are, I guess, the main qualities. So even in acting, you don't have to be a supermodel to be an actress.
Unless the role is of a supermodel,
unless
right?
That's the role.
Yes,
I mean, there's opportunities even no matter what age you are, right? So it's really never too late to pursue any of your dreams or goals. I'm a big advocate for that.
So borrowing on that, and also borrowing a little bit from our last episode of Limelight, where we discussed with Mahana that pageantry is not just about how you look. You win it at your advocacy, you win it on your on-stage question answer, you win it on the interview round. So there's so much more to pageantry, like Sheena mentioned, and like how Mahana also echoed the same thing. Thank you so much, Sheena. Now, can we move to a little bit of rapid fire?
Exciting. Should I be nervous?
Probably, yes.
Yeah,
One word thing. So does Sheena have any guilty pleasure?
Dessert.
That's literally.
That's my guilty pleasure,
Okay.
Especially Dubai chocolate.
Heels or sneakers?
Depends on my mood, but I like heels.
Okay, so you are the pageant girl.
Yeah, typical, right?
So if we have to describe Sheena in 3 words.
Okay, I would say ambitious, driven, and motivated.
Okay, I thought you'd use one of your, title
Poised?
poised.
I should say perfect.
But
Poised?
that's
No,
okay.
no.
Probably, Sheena cannot be confined in 3 words here,
Thank
right?
you.
Yes. And what's your confidence mantra? Like if at all Sheena feels down sometimes, which, I'm not sure you do, but then, if you do, what's your confidence mantra that pick me up?
I think we all have those days where we feel down, and I think that's normal, especially with all the things that we have to juggle in terms of, I work a full-time 9 to 5 job. I'm directing a pageant. I do acting gigs. It gets a lot, and sometimes you do feel that anxiety sometimes.
So what's your confidence mantra there?
I would say just being true to yourself, being authentic, not letting others, I guess, influence you, that you have something unique to offer to the world, I think.
Okay. What is something that the world doesn't know about Sheena?
That's a tough one. What does the world not know about myself? I don't know. I have quite a diverse background, not just within the entertainment industry. I used to work in HR for over 10 years. I work for the federal government right now.
Okay, see, that
probably
the side,
not, I don't really advertise that because it's not the most exciting, right? Let's be real. So,
but also it adds to how diverse one's personality can be, and how somebody can wear those hats and still be good at so many things. And
well, I think even my HR background kind of translated within what I'm doing now within the entertainment industry, because in HR I specialized in recruitment. So I always found talent for certain job opportunities, whereas now, even through my pageant and the title holders and the contestants I have, I'm trying to find opportunities for them within the entertainment industry as well. So I've always had that talent, I guess.
moving on to our final segment, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind for pageantry or in arts?
Interesting. Just that I hopefully in whether any side, whether it's pageantry or within acting or even journalism, if I do decide to pursue that again, just that I created some sort of change in the world, whether it be influencing a contestant pageant, maybe creating a work of art, a film that resonated with someone, with some sort of a change in the world.
So you do see yourself bringing some creative project like a movie that
100%.
Leave it for generations to watch and feel inspired.
Definitely.
Right? I think that work of art is something that we can really leave with generations to come. And that's amazing. Now, you have worn so many hats, from being a title holder to now being a director, being a journalist, to being an actor. So, what do you want to tell to people who have difficulty having that confidence in themselves, believing in their dreams? So what helped you? Like, did pageantry have any role in who Sheena Osman is today, or was Sheena Osman born with this, confidence and go-getter?
I wasn't born, as I said, when I was in elementary school and high school, I was very shy and timid, but I didn't know what would help to get that confidence out. It's when I started competing in pageants just out of university that I really found my voice, because it forces you to speak in front of an audience. It forces you to perform a talent. And that's really what built up my self-esteem and my confidence. So I highly suggest people who have issues with public speaking or just any stage fright to start pageantry. It can really change your life.
Right? It kind of works on different sides of us, like from being able to hold your head high, literally, and walk, right, to being able to stand on stage
even
and
for
give a voice.
Even for children. I was just speaking with a mother the other day at an event I was at, and she said, she puts her children in sports and like karate and that sort of thing, but she said there's not really anything out there that can help kids with their confidence and speaking in front of a crowd.
Overall development.
So she said, I'm kind of happy that you started a pageant because now this is something that I can put my children in to go on the stage.
Was she a mother of one of your contestants?
Yes,
or?
yes, she was. She was. So
Okay.
she ended up joining and putting her kids in. And they found it to be really rewarding.
So you said you had contestants from as young as 22 months?
22 months.
Less than 2 years.
And he rocked the stage, surprisingly.
Wow. So less than 2 years,
Right,
and you had teenagers
to
and
late
adults.
30s. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so the whole range of them.
So I'm sure all these contestants went out of the pageant, feeling a lot more confident, rediscovering themselves.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you as a director, how was your journey, before getting into directing the pageant and out? Like, did Sheena find a different Sheena at the end of the tunnel?
100%. Because I think as a contestant and pageant winner, there's only so far you can go with that. Sure, you make the connections and the networking and the friendships, which is all great. But then you want to know what that next step is. And for me, I think it was mentoring others because I saw what pageantry provided me and how it's helped my life. And I wanted to give those opportunities and empower others. So it's nice to be on the other side of it now.
Absolutely. So what is in store for the contestants or winners of your pageant? Like what next? Okay, I'm a perfectly poised woman.
Pageant winner.
So what happens? What's
Yeah,
next?
so now we're actually the official preliminary to the Miss All Canadian pageant, which is a renowned pageant in Canada, which has been running for about 40 years. And I was actually a pageant title holder for them back in 2015. I won 2 titles.
Oh, wow. So your pageant journey has been as long as since 2015?
From 2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
Yeah, so I've been competing for many years. So the director of that pageant actually came across my pageant and she reached out to me. She's like, Sheena, I remember you. You used to be a title holder in my pageant. She's like, would you like to partner with each other and maybe provide some opportunities with your title holders to my pageant?
Winners
Yeah, so we decided to partner with each other, and then the title holders, even contestants, are eligible to move on to the national competition for Miss All Canadian. So it just gives them that opportunity to compete at a national level.
I know a couple of my friends, queens, who are,
It's,
from the pageantry, from that
Miss All
system.
Canadian, they've been running for many. And the director,
Yes.
she's just great. Her name's Joanne, and she's really been helpful with helping me organize this pageant as well. She's been a great mentor to me.
That's amazing. That is something I would like to draw attention of our viewers to, that pageantry doesn't just come with competition, it comes with a lot of sisterhood and a lot of camaraderie. Like how Sheena mentioned, there's another system of pageant who runs a pageant, and then they are ready to collab with her even before she started her pageant and even before her winners were out there. So that is kind of sisterhood and camaraderie that we see in the pageant world. So that is something I would like my viewers also to know, because there's a lot of stigma that's attached to pageantry, right?
Oh, yes.
So a lot of people feel if you have money, you can win the pageant. A lot of people feel that, you really have to just look good and what holds inside doesn't matter. A lot of people feel that there is cold, cutthroat competition and we are just ready to pull each other down. But I think, examples like these really stand out and also throw a very, very positive light in the world and path of pageantry. So thank you so much, Sheena. It was a great pleasure talking to you, and I think for the amount of experience that you have and how dynamic your journey has been, probably I don't think I could sum it up in one episode.
Thank you.
So yes, so if our viewers like this episode, who knows, we may have Sheena for one more episode later. But for today, we are at the close of It's Your Show, where every guest owns their story and every viewer finds theirs. So this is Limelight series, and this is your host Shristi. Thank you for being with us and listening to Sheena's story at Perfectly Poised, the Sheena Osman story. And thank you so much. See you next week with another guest. Namaste.